going live, and you are looking live at Sold Out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-0 New York Giants will be taking on the 0-16 Washington Commanders. Why the Washington Commanders 0-16? Because they suck. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all? Anybody at all going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening? I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Or anybody spends any time at all watching a replay of this, once again, from the bottom of my heart, I greatly appreciate it. You guys absolutely rock. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here, as I always try to do, shoot my mouth off. Anybody got anything to say? Just fire away, put it away in the chat box. Usually I check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So anything gets put in there, I see, and I try to respond to it as fast as I possibly can. So please feel free, fire away, put stuff away in the chat box. All right. Before I get started, anybody wants to help support my channel, it would mean the absolute world to me. There's a link in the description box. It's the top link in the description box. You click on it, it'll take you to like my membership page, I guess it is. I got 3 different membership offers. There's the first one's called the Saquon, the second one's called the Lawrence Taylor, and the third one is called the Gridiron. Each one's got their own little perks to them and everything. There's loyalty badges. They're pretty cool. Each loyalty badge is a different Giants helmet. The older the Giants helmet is, that means the longer you've been a supporter of my channel. So they're pretty cool. I got 4 different emojis. Eventually, there will be a 5th one coming out. It's I had them made on Fiverr. They're pretty cool. I got a kick out of them every time I look at them. You can use them in the chat box. I guess you can use them if you're making a comment or something like that. So they're pretty cool. So anybody who wants to help support my channel, once again, it would mean the absolute world to me. And if you're not a subscriber of the channel, please go down below, hit that subscribe button, and click the bell icon. That way, next time I go live or I put a video out or whatever, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. And then also, finally, in the description box below, too, there's 3 links, 3 Facebook links, right? The top one, okay, is to a page, to a group I have, okay? It's called the New York Giants, called the Gridiron. Click on that and become a member, all right? It's free of charge, right? Right now we have over 1,900 members, right? The nice thing about that is, with this and with the page, every day I try to put like 4, 5, 6 new things in there every day. I try to keep things fresh in there. And the great thing about with the group is not only can I post, but members of the group can post as well too. So, I mean, I got my stuff that I put in there. Other people post their stuff that they have in there too. So there's a lot of stuff going in there every day. And then also, okay, there's 2 more links underneath the link, the Facebook link for the group, right? There's 2 pages that I have, okay? The bottom one, okay, is called This Day in Giants Football History, I believe it's called. It's a page. I'm not as active on that as I will be eventually. Right now, between the Giants, the group, the Facebook group, the one page, and the YouTube channel, I spend a lot of my time there. But eventually, probably after the season's over with, I might start working on the bottom on the page for This Day in Giants Football History. But the link in the middle, okay, it's called, once again, it's in New York Giants, called the Gridiron, but it's a page, okay? Right now, we have 392 people who like it. We have over 1,100 people who are following it. The followers are, going up like every day. It's crazy, right? And so it's the same thing as in the group, except in the page here, I'm the only one. I'm the administrator. I'm the only one allowed to post anything. So, but once again, I always try to put at least 4, 5, 6 new things in there every day, 7 days a week. I'm always in there, putting stuff in there. So that's what winds up taking up a lot of my time. But as I said, click on those 2 links, become a member of the group, all right, and then click on the middle link, this middle Facebook link, okay, to the page, like that, and follow it too. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff in there every day, and I said you won't be disappointed, and it's as always. a money back guarantee, right? If you're not happy, you get your money back. All right. So with all that said and done, we got the final injury report here, okay, coming out, all right, for the game Sunday night, all right. The Giants, okay, now obviously the Commanders played the Giants obviously 2 weeks ago. They played each other 2 weeks ago, but the Commanders were on their bye. All right, so after the Giants game, they were been resting up, so they're, pretty healthy, okay. Not totally, but pretty healthy, right? But the Giants, they've ruled 3 guys out. Okay. Once again, Mr. Azudu with his neck. He's out again. Unfortunately, Adoree Jackson, we were kind of hoping every week, maybe next week he'll be there. No, maybe next week he'll be there. Nope. And we're kind of hoping, well, he couldn't play for the Eagles. Well, hopefully he'll be there for the Commanders. No, he's not there for the Commanders either. So don't know what to tell you. I mean, I guess the knee must be pretty bad. So after this week, we got 3 games left, and quite possibly, if we wind up losing this one, this is a big one here. I seen some stuff. I forgot what it was, but if the Commanders win, they have like a 89% chance of making the playoffs, and the Giants obviously would lose. The Giants' percentage of making the playoffs goes down to like 25%. Something like that. And it's kind of the same thing like with the Commanders and the Giants. If the Giants were to win, okay, the Giants' percentage goes up to like 85% or something like that. And the Commanders' chances of making it to playoffs is like 30%, 35% or something like that. So whoever winds up, obviously it's not written in stone, right? Because the Commanders, let me see, hold on. Check it out here. I mean, any given Sunday, right? That's what they always say. Any given Sunday. Okay, so okay. Commanders got to play the Cowboys. They got to play the 49ers, who are just freaking on fire. Okay, even though they got their 38th string quarterback in there, they're on fire. All right, and then they got to play the Cleveland Browns. Okay, so the Commanders don't have an easy schedule. All right. Then again, neither do the Giants. Okay, the Giants have to play in Minnesota the following week. Then they get the Colts at home. So basically, they both got, I'm certainly not going to say any game is a gimme, but the Giants are at home, okay, against the Colts. The somewhat, if you want to call it, maybe kind of an easy game for the Commanders, where they're home against the Browns, okay. But the Commanders got 2 tough games, and the Giants got 2 tough games. And the Giants got to go on the road and play the Eagles. The only way I can see the Giants winning that one would be if the Eagles have everything locked up and they play like half a game. They put their starters in, and then they put their second string, third string guys in there in the second half. Maybe the Giants might have a chance in that scenario. The Eagles need that game, and the Eagles put their first stringers in there. The Giants, they're not winning. Okay. But then the Giants have to play on the road in Minnesota, and, so I mean, obviously any day, any game, any given Sunday, all this stuff and everything. But I mean, they're given also because the Giants would have to not even be tied with the Redskins if the Giants were to lose. The Giants would have to have a better record, okay, than the Redskins, right? So if the Giants were to lose, they'd be 7-6-1. All right. If the Redskins were to obviously win, they would be 8-5-1. So if the Giants were to go 2-1, and the Redskins were to go 1-2, that wouldn't be good enough, because they would both have the same record, and the Commanders would have the head-to-head over the Giants, and the Commanders would wind up winning. So that would mean the Giants would have to pretty much go 3-0. Right, and the Commanders would have to be like 1-2. Then the Giants would, so basically the Giants would almost have to they're also, they'll be going up again maybe against Seattle as well too. But the Giants would have a very, very tough road to hoe. It'd be very, very tough. So it's pretty much a must game for either team. The same thing is like with the Seahawks too. If for some reason, the Giants would have to have a better record, okay, than the Seahawks, because the Seahawks beat the Giants, Right? They got the head-to-head. Right? So I mean, very, very important game. All right. But let's see, what do we got here? All right. So we got Shane Lemieux's out, Zudu's out, and Adoree Jackson's out. Okay. Then we got some guys who are questionable. Okay. It looks like, Richie James passed his concussion protocol, so he looks like he's good to go. Dexter Lawrence, he was just resting, so he's good to go. Julian Love, he was rested. He's good to go. Jihad Ward, concussion. He looks like he's going to be good to go. Okay. We got Daniel Bellinger, his ribs. Poor guy can't catch a break this year. He's questionable. Nick McLeod, he's still got an illness. We're not sure if I don't know what it is, if it's COVID or whatever it is. I mean, but he's questionable. Ellerson Smith, his season's over with. I don't even get started with that guy. Leonard Williams with his neck, he's questionable. And Micah McFadden, he had a neck and an ankle, but he's a full participant. Okay. So the Giants have, what do we got? Is it 3? Well, 3. Okay. We got 3 guys out and 3 guys questionable. All right. The biggest one we could use would be Leonard Williams, without question. I get him in there, right, to help that defensive front. I mean, especially either putting pressure on Heineke or trying to shut down their run game, whatever it is. If we can get Leonard Williams in there, that would be huge. Okay. It's kind of also hoping we can get Adoree Jackson back, but to help out in the passing department, right? But is what it is now. The Commanders, okay, they got one guy who's out. Okay, they're Charles, offensive lineman. He has a concussion. Okay, so he's out. All right, they got 4 guys who are questionable. One of them, okay, is Chase Young. Now, the thing is with him is that whatever, if I'm reading is that Chase Young still may not even play. Okay, but if he does play, he'll be on a pitch count. All right, he'll be maybe 10, 20 snaps or so, kind of like tops. All right, so if he does, he won't be playing too much. All right, but what I was kind of thinking and reading, a couple of weeks ago is that, I was kind of like, shoo, Chase Young's not in there against the Giants when they played in Jersey a couple of weeks ago. I'm like, man, they missed Chase Young. But I'm like, when I kind of was reading and all, it's like, Chase Young will be back in 2 weeks, though. I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, right. Well, it is. Well, at least we missed him for one game. But no, he may not even play this game. So we'll have to wait and see. All right. But for the most part, I mean, they have one guy out. Okay. And they got 4 guys who are questionable. Cam Sims, one of the wide receivers, he's got a back. St. Justy, cornerback, he's got an ankle. Chase Young, okay, with his knee, he's questionable. And Abada, finger. He did something to his finger this week, and which put him on the, made him want to make him go questionable. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But still, I mean, for the most part, they're pretty much all, they got a couple other guys, Jamin Davis, we got a thumb, but I mean, Sam Cosme with an ankle, but he, he's a little banged up. Trey Turner with a knee, but these guys are all good to go. So I mean, they'll be pretty. Andrew Norwell, I mean, so for the most part, they're going to be good to go. All right. Now, if we can look at just like what to expect. Oh my God, what to expect. When both teams are on the field. All right. Oh, hey, Ronnie. We got Ronnie. Let's go win this. Yeah, now we go. This is it. This is it. We can win this one for sure. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, we can. Yeah, absolutely. They have to go and play like they did in the beginning. Yep, confident and ready. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, this one they can win without question. They can win this one. Let's see. I mean, Daniel Jones has done very well in Washington. Okay. And we did beat Washington in Washington last year, but there was the bad call from the referee on the last second field goal, right? From the Washington football team at the time. They said Dexter Lawrence was offside. He was not offside. He moved. As soon as the center started moving the ball, Dexter Lawrence started going forward. He was not offside. It was a bad call by the refs. The refs blew the call, right? The commander guy missed the kick, right? Giants won the game, but bad call by the refs, But, we have done well in Washington, right? We did not do well at all the last time we played these guys 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago, however you want to look at it. We did not do well. I mean, if you look at that, my God, I mean, the Giants had 316 yards of offense, I believe it was. Was it 316? Yeah, 316 yards of offense. And that included overtime, okay? That's 70 minutes of football. 316 yards of, the play-by-play, right? Okay. The second half, it was just ungodly. They scored a touchdown, okay? After Washington fumbled the ball. Azeez, I think, caused the fumble, right? And we got the ball, and we went 20 yards, 5 plays, 20 yards for a touchdown, okay? So that was the only score the Giants had in the whole second half and in overtime, right? If we didn't get that fumble, Lord knows if we would have scored it all. I mean, because, I think the longest drive we had was like 2 minutes and 39 seconds, I think, in the second half. Oh, yeah, it was in overtime, I'd say. 227, 228. No, maybe it was 237. I mean, that was the longest drive the Giants had. That's when they scored the touch. 237. They went 5 plays in the second half, in the third quarter. Okay. Then the next time they had the ball, they had 3 plays and a punt. Next time they got a ball, 3 plays and a punt. 4 plays and a punt. 3 plays, no yards and a punt. 3 plays, they took 28 seconds off the board. That was when they threw those 2 long passes down the field, right? That's when, of course, Darius Slayton jumped up, had the ball in his hands, and he dropped the ball. Giants possibly could have won the game there. If you talk to other guys like Howard Cross and stuff like that, instead of Darius Slayton like standing there, maybe kind of jumping up in the air, if you would have just kept running instead of stopping, let me jump up and try to grab. If he just kept running, right, he might have caught it in stride and maybe scored a touchdown, right? Then we got the ball back, 1 play. I guess we knelt on it and killed the clock. Then in overtime with 4 plays, 9 yards, 2:27 off the clock. Then we went 7 plays, 38 yards, looks like. Took 2:28 off the clock. Then got the missed field goal. 5 plays, 17 yards, 28 seconds off the clock. And so the Giants' offense has been absolutely ungodly pathetic, okay, over the past, the last half of Washington game, we did score some points against the Eagles, but we had what was it 48-14? Then we scored, right? I think toward the end there. The Giants, the one thing is that, obviously the lack of continuity on the offensive line, getting guys coming in and out, that makes things tough. The banged up Saquon Barkley, that makes it tough. Then we got banged up Daniel Bellinger, and we don't even know if he's even going to be playing. And then we had the lack of offensive wide receiver firepower or depth, or however you want to look at it. That's a problem. Okay, so we got all kinds of problems. All right. What we had in the beginning of the season, right, we had some maybe continuity on the offensive line. We had the same guys playing. We had Ben Bredesen in there. Remember that guy? Feliciano. We had Glowinski. We had Evan Neal. We had Andrew Thomas, Daniel Bellinger, right? We had a healthy Saquon Barkley. We had Daniel Jones, right? Heck, we even had a Sterling Shepard out there. We had a Wan'Dale Robinson out there. Even every now and then we even had a Kadarius Toney out there, right? So we had some we had a little firepower going on out there. The guys weren't maybe as banged up. We had some continuity on the offensive line, but I mean, just slowly but surely, that's been all going by the wayside, right? So, and when the Giants scored late, I guess it was, one of the last touchdowns last week. I mean, I guess maybe the second stringers for the Eagles were in there. So I mean, if the Eagles were still foaming at the mouth and had their first stringers in there, we still might have only scored 14 points. So I mean, it just, and the thing is that now what we got is that we can't fall behind by because with the offensive line's kind of going, the lack of firepower and all that stuff. Maybe in the beginning of the season, like when we were down, I guess it was 13-0 or so, or to the Titans, like maybe at halftime, or we were able to keep chipping away at the lead, chipping away. But I mean, it's like with the lack of power, firepower we got. I mean, we got to stay close. I mean, we can't, you can't turn this into a shootout. We're in trouble. I said, I think we fall down by 3 scores. I think we're in trouble. So, the defense is, I mean, my goodness. I mean, look, I mean, I don't know what Wink can dial up here or whatever, but I mean, this run defense, I mean, is just, and one of the biggest problems, okay, is Leonard Williams, right? Now it's kind of like, I think what Howard Cross also pointed out, okay, he was on a podcast for the Giants this week, is that, you can have Sexy Dexter, I think, was in there for 1 tackle. Well, when basically when you can put 17 guys to block him, okay, and say, all right, Giants, we're going to block Dexter with 312 guys, and we're not going to block anybody else, all right, and we're going to just dare the rest of the guys to stop us, So you basically want to take your best guy out of the game, okay, and dare the rest of the guys that, they couldn't do it, right? If you got Leonard Williams in there, right, and you got Sexy Dexter in there, now it's kind of tough to double team both of them, right? So then possibly one of them can start causing some type of problems in there. But I mean, with the Eagles' good offensive line that they got, right? I mean, they were just able to make Sexy Dexter a non-factor last week, all right? The Redskins have a decent offensive line. It ain't as good as the Eagles, all right? But they got a decent offensive line without question. Now, I mean, if Leonard Williams can't go, I mean, let's see. This is just ungodly. I mean, the Giants gave up 253 rushing yards to the Eagles, 165 to the Commanders 2 weeks before that, 169 to the Cowboys, 160 to the Lions, 101 to the Texans. We only gave up 8. I mean, against the Seahawks, we only gave up 277 yards. We lost 27-13. Sounds like we got totally blown out of the building, but I mean, the Seahawks only had 277 yards of offense, right? I think the 2 turnovers really hurt us in that one, but we gave up 142 yards rushing to the Jaguars. We gave up 452 yards of offense to the Jaguars. We gave up 211 yards rushing to the Ravens. I mean, we gave up 406 yards of offense to the Ravens too. I mean, it's just, anyway, we gave up 149 yards rushing to the Bears. I mean, that's kind of all they do. But, we gave up 176 yards rushing to the Cowboys. We gave up 146 yards rushing to the Panthers. I mean, it's just, I tell you what, I mean, after we gave up only 93 yards rushing to the Titans in week 1 and Derrick Henry, I'm like, man, we got ourselves some run defense this year, baby. Watch out. I mean, it's been downhill ever since then. So, I mean, they're just ungodly. They're just horrible, absolutely horrible. And I know a lot of it's got to do with injuries and all, but I'm not sure what Wink can dial up. But I mean, it's going to be. I mean, it's almost going to be kind of like pick your poison. I mean, with Wink, right? I mean, if he tries to, whatever, crowd the line, put another guy in a box, or however you want to look at it, to take away the run, well, then we're going to probably get annihilated with the pass. So I think he believes, he would rather maybe give up the running yards, okay? And, if the guys get 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 yards of carry, right? Then to get gashed with the passing. All right. So I mean, he's got his work cut out for him. I'll tell you what. But I mean, last time, what we got? I mean, the Commanders totally dominated the time of possession. I mean, of course, this also was with overtime. Okay, they had the ball for 41 minutes, included overtime too, right? The Giants had it for only 28, but they had the ball for like 4 or 5 minutes in overtime. About 5 minutes, about half the overtime the Giants had the ball for, I think, right? So the Giants basically had the ball for like 23 minutes or so during the regular. I mean, it was just like, oh my goodness. And what else we got? I mean, let's see. I mean, Heineke was 27 out of 41, 246 yards. The one nice thing, we're getting some pressure on him. Okay, we did get some sacks. Okay, which was huge. We got one turnover. Right, it would be nice. I mean, it's kind of tough. I know with the inexperience that we have a lot in the secondary. Also, of course, Xavier McKinney's not in there as well too. Once again, he would help out, but I mean, the lack of interceptions the Giants have had this year so far is just really, I mean, horrible, absolutely horrible. Let me see here. I'm trying to see. Well, I know that obviously there's got to be stat in there somewhere. I was just trying to find out exactly how many interceptions the Giants had this year. It ain't many. I mean, it's just, not many at all. I mean, that's one thing, the Giants was kind of hoping they'd be a little bit better at, but I mean, you also look at it too, is like what they had last year. I mean, obviously, Bradbury is gone. I mean, when we had Bradbury and Adoree Jackson, you had yourself two really good, obviously, cornerbacks. Then we had, obviously, Logan Ryan in there as well, too. Okay. And then we had Jabrill Peppers in there, right? So, I mean, then he obviously got hurt. But, I mean, we had some real good quality depth. I mean, Xavier McKinney, Logan Ryan, Jabrill Peppers, Adoree Jackson, James Bradbury. I mean, we had a nice, five-some there, right? Jabrill Peppers would maybe be in the box a little bit more, okay, helping out against the run. So, I mean, all in all, we had a really, really good secondary last year. But, I mean, just this year, I mean, just lack of what do we got? I mean, the Giants were 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They got 15 turnovers. I mean, about one a game. I mean, it could be worse, of course, but it certainly could be better. I mean, as I said, I mean, a lot of it also the lack of just interceptions is just not there. But we don't have, phenomenal talent, right, in the secondary. I mean, so whatever we can dial up. I mean, I'm really anxious to see it. I mean, he certainly has his work cut out for him, without question. I mean, because the Commanders, I mean, the past, 5 games, they got 130, actually 5. Well, against the Colts, they only had 96 yards, but I mean, the past, they had 166 yards rushing against the Packers, 137 against the Vikings, 152 against the Eagles, 153 against the Texans, 176 yards rushing against the Falcons, and 165 yards rushing against the Giants. I mean, they're running the ball very good. Well, they don't. What they're trying to do is take the ball out of Heineke's hands a decent amount. They're not. It's not like they're trying to set him out there and just you win us the ball game. Okay. Although last year he did a very good job against the Giants last year. I think if I remember correctly, somebody said that was the only time I think that he's ever passed for over 300 yards in his career was last year against the Giants in that one game. I mean, every time the Giants took the lead, Heineke just marched them right down the field and scored a touchdown or kicked. They got the game-winning field goal, scored or whatever it was. I mean, it just, Giants had a hard time stopping them. And as I said, Daniel Jones does very well. He's done very well in Washington. Okay, that's a plus. But he also sometimes, in the past, he's also had better wide receivers. He's had better weapons, especially than he does this year. So, I mean, whatever Wink's going to have to dial up is going to be, on defense, it's going to have, going to be very interesting to see, say. I mean, I don't know if you can pay too much attention to trying to stop the run more than they have been, because then you're going to leave a lot of inexperienced guys in the secondary, right? And I said, and the Commanders have some very, very good wide receivers. I mean, two of their wide receivers have far more catches than the Giants do. I mean, we got here. All right, who we got? Samuel has 54 receptions, and McLaurin has 62 receptions. Okay. So, I mean, we got Richie James is number one for the Giants, and then you got Darius Slayton is number two. But, I mean, Richie James, where's Richie James at? What's he up to here? Receptions. Richie James got 38 receptions. Darius Slayton's got 35. Saquon leads the team with 42. Okay. But I mean, you don't know how bad his neck is, how bad his shoulder is, right? I mean, his production has really gone down over the past few games. But I mean, the Giants just don't have, Daniel Bellinger. He's got 24 receptions. I mean, as far as wide receiver / tight end, Daniel Bellinger is our third highest guy. He has 24 receptions. Wan'Dale Robinson is our fourth, and of course his season's over with. He has 23 receptions, right? But Nick Vanette's got one catch. Kenny Galladay's actually has 4. Lawrence Kager's got 5. Marcus Johnson's got 6 receptions. Chris Myrick's got 7. Tanner Hudson's, who's not even on the team no more, has got 10. David Sills got 11. Sterling Shepard, season's over with, he's got 13. Isaiah Hodgins, who's done, I'll tell you, 17. He's got 17% on 21 targets, 17 catches, and he has touchdown in the past 2 games. So, obviously, is he going to be able to dominate in this game? No, but look for him to get some balls thrown his way, because I mean he's done decently in the past 2 games. So, if we got James out there, Slayton and Hodgins, right? All right. We got Darius Slayton has 35 catches. Bellinger's got 24. Kadarius Toney actually had 2. Woo! Wan'Dale Robinson's got 23. Richie James got 38. Gary Brightwell's got 4. Breeda's got 11. And Saquon Barkley's got 42. So we've got a bunch of guys that have catches, but I mean, nobody's really dominating, right? Because we don't have, the superior talent. And a lot of it, too, is also, sometimes poor offensive line play. Now, how long can Daniel Jones stand back in the pocket and try to take a shot downfield, right? Because let's not forget, I mean, the defensive front that the Commanders have is very, very good. I mean, all those number 1 picks they got, I mean, it's just phenomenal. Payne had a great game against us. I think he had 2 sacks against us last time he played, 2 weeks ago. So, I mean, their defensive front is very, very good. It's not going to be easy. But is it a game the Giants can win? Yeah, I mean, because, the Commanders are not, they're not like the Eagles or anything. I mean, they're not, absolutely phenomenal. They're not as high scoring as like the Cowboys. They don't have a absolutely phenomenal defense. But, the Giants could have won. They could have won but I mean, they got their work cut out for them. I mean, the Giants trying to slow down maybe the run game, right? Keep the Commanders' offense, the passing game in check. But I mean, they got their work cut out for them. They try to get this ungodly sluggish offense going. I mean, as I said, if the Giants wind up, going down by like 3 scores or so, and they have to just start passing the ball up and down, to try to score or whatever, forget about it. I mean, it could be a long game, So tomorrow night when I come back, I'll have my picks and all that, predictions and everything like that. But certainly a game the Giants can win, right? But basically, it is, for all intents and purposes, it is a must win. It's a must win. Let me see here. Let's see it. Let's see, Seattle Seahawks. There you go. All right, where are we at here? There we go. Seattle Seahawks. Okay, so they are. Oops. All right, they're 7-7. Who do they got? They got them. They got to play the Chiefs and they got to play the Jets. Okay, so I mean, they could lose next week. They could be 7-8. Then they're going to play the Jets at home. Then they're going to play the Rams at home. So they finish with 2. So I mean, they could certainly lose 2 of these next 3 games, right? So we'll have to wait. So I mean, they could possibly be what, 7-9. They could be 8-9, right? So I mean, if the Giants could win one of these games, right? The Giants could win one game and be 8-1, and the Seahawks would be 8-9. The Giants would wind up winning. They would wind up getting into the playoffs. So I mean, it's not an absolute dire must. The Giants have to win. I mean, they could actually back them. I mean, if they could beat the Colts and become like say 8-1, they could back their way into the playoffs, right? As I said, because the Commanders, the Giants, and the Seahawks have at least 2 tough games after this week. They'll all have at least 2 tough games. Also, do not forget about the Detroit Lions too. They got some tough games coming up too. But I'll tell you what, they have been on a roll as well too. Let me see. Detroit Lions. Here we go. Let me see here. I know they got a couple tough games too as well, I believe. Let's see here. Okay, they're 6-7. But I mean, they've won 2, 3. They've won 5 of their last 6. Okay, and they had the head-to-head with the Giants. They got to play at the Jets, the last game of the season. They got to play at the Packers. They got the Bears at home. Okay, then they got to play in Carolina. They got 3 of the last 4 games were on the road, right? But they also have a losing record. So I mean, if they went 2-2 in their final, right, 4 games, they would be 8-9. If the And if the Seahawks lose 2 of their final 3, they would be 8-9, right? So the Giants could conceivably be 8-1 and back their way into the playoffs if they can maybe beat the Colts. The Giants could lose 3 of their final 4 games, right, and wind up being 8-1 and back their way into the playoffs. So, right, we'll have to keep an eye. But I mean, so it's not an absolute death sentence if the Giants lose to the Commanders as far as their playoff hopes. But if the Giants could win this game, all right, or whoever winds up winning this game, this could go a long, long way in getting them into the playoffs. I mean, if the Giants could win this and maybe win one other game, right, we'd have like 9 wins. We could be like, what would that be, 9-7-1, right? We're in the playoffs, without question. 9-7-1, absolutely. So I mean, so this is not an if they wind up losing, it's not an absolute death sentence, but if they could win, it would be huge. Well, guys, it's been 38 minutes. Anybody spent any time at all watching this? And as always, Ronnie, thank you, Ronnie. Thank you so much. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Or anybody spends any time at all watching the replay of this, from the bottom of my heart, thank you, thank you, thank you. And as always, guys, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.